Hi, welcome to this episode of Great Practice, Great Life. Today, I have my long-term friend and one of the best thinking lawyers that I know when it comes to growing a practice, Craig Goldenfarb. So, Craig, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Steve. Great to be here as always.
Dude, it's so great to have you here. It's just always fun to hang out with you and talk to you and just find out what you're thinking on things and get your take. But the first thing I want to do, especially for the people that see us on YouTube, let's talk about the jersey. You've got some swag on, man. Let's show it.
I love the swag. This is my Gold Law soccer jersey. My phone number, choose the twos. So it's all twos. And on the back, of course, So we sponsor a lot of soccer teams and soccer tournaments, and soccer's my jam. So this is one of our many, many, many items whereby we promote our law firm. So I get to do cool things like wear a cool soccer jersey promoting my company.
Yeah, I'm envious. We do not have cool soccer jerseys at Atticus. We have the standard polo, but I like the cool soccer jersey. I guess that's the benefit for having your own law firm. I think that's the thing.
They're really fun.
So today, what I want to do is have you talk about one of the slices. You do a lot of things very, very well in marketing. It's one of the things that you are just very, very creative at. And you're also willing to invest and experiment with. But one of the challenges that a lot of lawyers have when they go to grow their practice is they don't have a lot of cash and they don't have a lot of time. And they sometimes get distracted by all kinds of really cool advertising and marketing techniques. And I want to go back to when you started your practice, when it was just you and an assistant, and talk about one of the long-term strategies that you have employed and continue to employ to this day to help you build long-term sustainable revenue in your practice, which is getting other lawyers to refer you work. Does that work for you? Are you up for that?
100%. One of my favorite topics.
One of the things I would market to as an estate planning lawyer was like family law lawyers, because they're people redoing their plans or they had complicated problems. So I always looked at the lawyers that were running good practices, like they had decent practices. They weren't like, working out of their house and off just a cell phone and a laptop, because they're probably only able to handle like 5 or 6 cases. I was looking for a lawyer that may have, 4 or 5 staff, decent marketing, a good volume of cases, because they would always have enough case turnover where they needed somebody like me as part of their team. Have you noticed anything like that where you're like, okay, this is more of the lawyer I would be aiming at, the type of lawyer in the practice?
In other businesses, there's the term net promoter score, which is for clients. Usually you rank your clients as to what kind of promoter they could be. In the referral game, I call that the net referral score, which is their potential. So I'm not going to do business with a criminal defense attorney who's running a practice out of his house and has one staff member. I want that criminal defense attorney who has 5 lawyers. He knows how to scale, and he sees hundreds and hundreds of clients. So yeah, it's a referral potential score. So any family lawyer I refer to is not my good buddy who has, his spouse runs the practice and they have 3 clients, even though he's my buddy. Sorry, but that person doesn't qualify to be my family law guy. It's got to be large. So that's exactly what you're talking about, which is don't just send to your friends. If you're really looking to maximize the referral potential, it's got to be someone who has referral back. So the reciprocity analysis is what I call that, which is, do they have the capability to have reciprocity with you?
Let's talk about, just for a few minutes, your attitude. You and I have kind of talked about this before, and it's one of the shifts that both of us went through in developing a referral-based practice. Give, get. What does that mean?
Well, part of getting referrals is it's actually creating a kind of an existential theory of debt. And while it's genuine, it's also tactical, which is, if you just ask somebody for something, they don't owe you anything. So they may or may not like you. They may or may not trust you or know you or whatever, but you're just asking. It's pure ask. But what if instead of asking, the ask, you wait and you just get to know somebody and like them, and maybe they trust you, and you do ask, they know why you're getting lunch. It's to get referrals. But what if you give 2 things to them that helps them before you even do a solid ask, a solid request? So for instance, when I go to a lunch, I certainly will drop in what types of areas of law I do and what would my favorite referral type would be. And thank you very much. But afterwards, I give them two things. I usually heard something like today. I had lunch today with a lawyer whose 2-year-old loved Legos. They go to Legoland, which is the only theme park that a 2-year-old could possibly exist at, possibly, would be Legoland. So I came back and my executive assistant knows that I buy gifts after lunch. So I'm buying him and his son 2 tickets to Legoland. So that's a give. Now, how many times do we go to referral lunch and someone sends us a gift afterwards? The answer is never unless you go with me. So he's getting 2 tickets to Legoland. Now, it doesn't come with a note that says refer me cases. It was, hey, it was great to connect with you. I hope you and your little son, Johnny, have a good time at Legoland. Now that creates what I call an existential or element of debt. So that's a give. That's one give. And what if a month later, I see an article on family law because he was a family law attorney, and I just send it to him, saw this, was thinking of you. Again, it's top of mind awareness. It means I'm still thinking of him. And I gave him something that he may or may not have already read, but maybe he didn't. And it's an article on family law. So that's another give. It's not as nice as tickets to Legoland, but it's a give. So now twice I've given. So it creates some sort of moral debt, which is that if he sees the car accident the week later, he knows 5 PI attorneys, but only one of them got 2 tickets to Legoland and sent them an article last week. So then I get, and I didn't even have to ask. It just, there's that debt created by doing things nice for people. Now, if I never get, and I think this is kind of the key, it's giving without expectation of return. So I do that all the time. And there's plenty of lawyers who have never referred me a case that I've done this. And you know what? That's great. That's fine. Because I didn't do it with the expectation of return. I just find that in life, if you do it like 2/3 of the time, you're going to get something back. It's just karma. And when you don't get anything back, that's just called life. So it's okay because it comes back, 2/3, 3/4 of the time where you're going to get something. But there's nothing that ROI of 75% or whatever it is perfectly fine for me on the give, get slogan. So if you don't get anything back, that's great. I met somebody and I never got anything.
If you could go back and talk to young Craig, the 25, 26, 27-year-old guy that was opening up his practice, what would be the number one piece of advice you would give that young man?
I would say get a therapist.
I didn't see that one coming. Get a therapist.
Wow, sooner than I did. I'll tell you honestly, self-growth, mindfulness, self-actualization, and learning yourself, to me has been the foundation to everything I've done in life. So the more you know about yourself, whether it's through spirituality, religion, therapy, whatever path you take to become a better person and learn about yourself, it has been the bedrock of any success I've had, whether it's personal, physical, emotional, relational, is just continuing to grow as a human being. So my answer has nothing to do with business. It has to do with becoming with mindfulness and a healthy mindset and being at peace with yourself.
I think it's very profound. Most of the lawyers that I know that are stuck with their growth are stuck from a lack of emotional intelligence. They have a leadership limp. They kind of cap out because they're no longer self-aware. Like they've grown to the extent that they're emotionally capable of growing, and they can't figure out why they can't keep team, why they can't get better cases, why they can't get more referral sources, because they've kind of gotten to a point where they're about as good as they're going to get, and in their minds, they're pretty amazing. And that's where I see a lot of people get stuck. So I think it's one of the reasons that you've grown is you never accepted that you've become perfect. You're
Life,
always progressing.
life about leveling up, no matter what level you're at. I put myself in rooms where I'm the smallest fish all the time. And that's my favorite room to be in. I'm in lots of rooms where I'm the biggest fish. That's fun. But where do you get growth? You get growth from rooms where you're the least impressive in the room, in whatever room it is. That's where you grow. I love being the least impressive person in the room.